Hello students, now today we'll start a new chapter, that is Algebra Chapter 11. So in exercise 11.1 we have altogether 10 questions are there. So today I will try to finish 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so let's begin with question number 1. Now in question number 1 we have 7 questions, and for each question we have to find the rule, we have to generate the rule. Fine. So in question number A, you will find that a letter T is written. Now, to find the rule for each letter what is given in question number 1, we have to follow some rule. That is two things. What are the two things? Let me first write the letter. Now, the two things that you have to follow is number of figures and number of matchsticks used in each figure. These two things you have to remember. Fine. Now suppose if we let this number of figures as n, fine, and the number of matchstick used in each figure, we have to count it. That each line you see represents one matchstick. So how many matchsticks used is been used in letter T? This is 1 and 2. So we'll write it here 2. Now with this 2 information we can generate the rule. How? Suppose we'll write, therefore the rule would be rule is 2n. Fine, where n represents number of figures. Now let us try one example. Now suppose if there are 3 t's are there. Okay, so number of figures is what? How many numbers of figures are there? So number of figures is equals to 3. And each figure, in each figure, how many matchsticks? Number of matchsticks used? Sorry, this would be 2. Fine. Oh no, this is will be 3 because it represents number of figures. And each figure, in each figure, number of matchstick used is equals to 2, isn't it? Now, if you have to find out how many matchsticks are there, then what we'll do? So, number of matchsticks, total number of matchstick would be equals to what? 3 into 2, that is 2 into n. Now, n is what? 3, because n represents number of figures. So, 2 into 3, that is 6. Let us count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we are using this pattern, then no matter how many t's are there, we can easily get the number of matchsticks. Okay, so this is all about question number sum number A of question number 1. Let's try the same thing with sum number B. Now sum number B, letter given is Z. So again what we'll do, let the number of figures be, let the number of figures be n. Fine. And number of matchsticks used in each figure. So how many number of figures is matchsticks is used? 1, 2, 3. So what is the rule? Therefore rule is 3n, where n represents number of z's. Now let us take again, let's see whether the rule is working or not. Suppose 3 z's are there. So n is equals to what? 3, and number of matchsticks in for each figure is what? 3. So number of matchsticks in each figure would be equals to 3. So what is the rule we are using? 3n. Fine. So 3, this 3 represents number of matchstick used in each figure. So we'll write it 3. And how many figures are there? Because n represents number of figures. So in place of 3, in place of n, we'll write 3 figures are used. So we'll write 3. So 3 3s are 9. Now we'll check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this rule is okay, isn't it? Therefore, rule is 3n. So this is how we'll generate the rule for each and every sum of question number 1. Okay, let us check another one, and the rest of the sums you will do it as homework. Okay, now let's try, just a minute. Now let's try sum number D. Now D, in D it is written letter V. Fine. So let number of figures be n and number of matchsticks used in each figure. Now we have to count it. Equals to 1, 2, isn't it? 2. So what will the rule? The rule is 2n, where n represents number of figure. Now let us check it whether this rule is working or not. Again we'll write 3v. Fine. So n is what? How many figures are there? 3. So according to the rule is what? 2n. Now this 2 represents number of matchstick used in each figure. So we'll write this 2. And how many n's are there? 3. So just multiply it. What is the required answer? That is 6. So total number of matchsticks are 6. So check it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this rule is absolutely okay. Fine. The same logic you will use for the rest of the sums. I believe that it is very, very easy. Now let's move on to sum number 2. Now question number 2 is somehow related with question number 1. So what is written? See, we already know the rule of the pattern of letters L, C and F. Fine. For L, C, okay, C and F. So you have to generate the rule for this L, C and F. And some of the letters from question 1, you see this question is somehow related with question 1, given above, give us the same rule as given by L. Okay, now we have to see that we have the first thing that you have to give the rule generate for letter L, C and F. Okay, so L, I'm just writing it directly. L is having how many matchsticks? 2. And how many figures and number of figures would be letters would be given by letter n. So this L will follow the rule as 2n. C will be considered as two matchsticks, or you can generate 3 matchsticks also like this, 1, 2, 3. In this way also you can write C. Okay, so if C represents 3 matchsticks, so the rule will be followed as 3n. Now for letter F, how many matchsticks are used? 1, 2, 3. So the rule will be followed as 3n. Now they have asked if you relate. Now the rule followed for letter L is 2n. Now you have to see which are the figures in question number 1 follows the rule of L. Now that is I believe if you solve this, so L that is V is using 2n. Fine. I believe only this 2, that is L. In question number 2, if L represents the rule 2n, then in question number 2 and question number 1, V also represents 2n, T also represents 2n. Okay, now if F represents 3n, which are the figures in question number 1 represents 3n? That is U, I guess. U, 3n. Okay, so this is how you have to form a relation between question number 2 and question number 1. Okay, for that you have to do each and every sum of question number 1, then only you can do this. Okay, now let's move on to sum number 3. Now sum number 3, we have cadets are marching in a parade. Okay, there are 5 cadets in a row. So in each row there are 5 cadets. what is the rule which gives the number of cadets given in the number of rows? Now you see, the first thing that you have to follow, the two things have been discussed in this question, that is rows and number of cadets. Fine. So let the number of rows be n. Fine. Number of rows be n and cadets in each row is given 5. So therefore rule will be followed is 5n. Okay, now let us see. Now row means this is a row. So if there is single row, then how many cadets are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, isn't it? So in a single row, there are 5 cadets. So in one row there will be only 5 cadets. Suppose there are 3 rows are there. Fine, 3 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many rows are there? So number of rows, that is n, is equals to 3, and number of cadets in each row is equals to what? 5. So what is the rule we are following? Rule is 5n. So what is n? 3. So in place of n we will put 3. So multiply 5 into 3 is what? 15. Now check it. If there are 15 altogether, 15 cadets are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this rule is absolutely working. Understood how I'm going with the rule? So let's move on to sum number 4. Sum number 4. Now in sum number 4 we have, if there are 50 mangoes in a box. So in each box, how many mangoes are there? 50 mangoes. Fine. So how will you write the total number of mangoes in terms of a number of boxes? So again, so what we let the number of box, we'll consider the number of box as n. So let the number of box would be equals to n. Okay, and mangoes in each box, what is given as 50. So in each box 50 mangoes are there. So if there are only one box, we will multiply with 50 into 1. If there are 2 boxes are there, then we'll multiply 50 with 2. If there are 3 boxes are there, then we'll multiply 50 into 2. So what is the rule we are following here? So rule would be equals to 50n. Understood? So if there are 2 boxes, so we'll put 2 in place of n. So and we multiply 50 into 2, there would be 100 mangoes. So if you have to calculate how many mangoes are there in 10 boxes. So what is 10 represents? 10 represents how many number of boxes are there. So if n is equals to 10, so how many number of mangoes would be there? 50 into 10, that is 500 mangoes. So if you follow this rule, then no matter how many boxes are there, you can easily find out the number of boxes in n number of boxes. Okay, so this is the solution of question number 4. So thank you for today. In next session, I will explain the rest of the sums. Okay, till then, stay blessed and God bless you all.